Hey everyone, and welcome to another pickups video. This is for all the manga that I got in this first half of August. There's a lot here, so I'm hoping to get through this kind of quickly. A mix of new releases as well as older titles, and some of them you would have seen in some of my more recent videos, my midweek manga videos where I talk about what I have been reading for the week. So yes, you'll see some of those in here, but there is a lot of stuff you guys haven't seen, and of course if you don't watch those videos then this will all be new stuff for you. But yeah, really good mix of publishers as well as just genres, everything else. So I'm just going to get started and I hope you enjoy. First of all is the most recent volume of the shoujo manga Horimiya by Hiro and Daisuke Hagiwara. This is volume 4. I really like this series. I think a lot of people do. Very sweet, sort of realistic series insofar as like the relationship is very believable between the main characters. This volume introduces Hori's father, who is on the cover here with her, as well as just having its same blend of pretty good typical high school drama, as well as keeping its humor throughout the series. And next is the newest volume of Yen Press's collector's editions of Fruits Basket. These are beautiful, beautiful volumes for this series. As you can see, we have Shigure on the front, and then Kagura on the back. And just overall, like I said with the first two volumes, these are done fantastically. I think they changed the printing process a little bit with these, so the covers are a little less likely to be dirty than the first two volumes. I think they really listened to how fans complained a bit about that. But like with the other two volumes, it has all the color pages in the front, and then the omnibus, of course, has 2 volumes within there. So this is volume 5 and 6 of the of the story, and is just beautiful. Again, rereading this series has been fantastic, and I just can't wait to get more of it in the coming months. Next are some other omnibus releases, and these weren't things I really planned on picking up. I really had no plans for them, but I found them in one of my local op shops for $1.50 each, and I really couldn't pass up that deal. So what I got was volume 2 and volume 3 of Lone Wolf and Cub, released by Dark Horse. These are the omnibus releases. They are flipped manga releases, but I believe the singles are as well. These are very, very thick volumes. I think they have like 3.5 volumes in them. So there's a lot of material to get through. I obviously only have these 2 because it wasn't really a series I had initially thought of getting in this, like, within the foreseeable future, but having them at such a low price and just available there for me was really what, got me to pick them up. As well as, I mean, Lone Wolf and Cub, if you haven't read it or experienced this story yourself, you should at least be aware of it. It's incredibly famous and like incredibly popular, so I'm looking forward to it when I get around to reading these. Obviously I'm going to try and pick up the first omnibus before that, and then I can give this series a try. Next is another new release, and that is the 5th volume of The Ancient Magus' Bride by Kori Yamazaki and released by 7 Seas. This was a fairly good volume, a lot of returning characters in it, and a bit more exploration of this magical world that they live in overall. I'm not the biggest fan of this series. I know it's very well regarded by a lot of people, and I do enjoy it, but I don't think it's nearly at the level that some people say it is. Not to say that it's a bad series, but I still enjoy it enough to keep reading it, and I will continue. I am looking forward to the next volume. It's certainly developed into an interesting setting and some fairly interesting plot points. So, yeah, volume 5, the most recent volume. Then is another new release, this one by Kodansha, and that is volume 16 of Adachi Toka's Noragami. This is the last one of these monthly releases we'll be getting for this series. I think the 17th and most recent volume is coming out in like November or December, in a couple months' time, and we're completely caught up with Japan right now. I love the blue on this cover, obviously imitating the night sky, the starry sky, and the actual plot within this volume, like with every Noragami volume, is phenomenal. I really love the way this series is handled, how the characters are, how they interact, and how the plot can change so quickly without the reader or the audience being totally aware, or it seems very natural the way that the story progresses, even if some things aren't completely like broadcast. It's not everything is totally clear at the beginning, but this volume, phenomenal. I'm sure if you're a fan of Noragami, you'll already be getting this or already have it. Pardon me. But it's going to be a great shame having to wait so long between volumes now that we are caught up. But this volume was just fantastic, and I'm really glad to have it in the collection. I can't wait to read more, even though it is going to be a little while until we see volume 17. Next is volume 3 of a Yen Press series of The Red, Delight and Ayakashi by Nanao and Haka Works. This is the manga adaptation of a visual novel. I said this in my midweek manga video that I'm not really completely sold on this series. It's not the series that it was kind of advertised to me that it was, but I still am interested in seeing where it's going. And overall, it's only going to be 9 volumes, so I will probably collect it until the end, because I do have a lot of interest in seeing where the story goes. There's a lot of mystery, and I want to see how it's handled. With a lot of visual novels, especially like mystery-based visual novels, I do get quite invested with trying to figure out the mystery, even if I'm not necessarily that invested in the characters. So in this case, I think that's one of those series compared to something like Higurashi and Umineko, where I'm invested in the mystery but also with the characters. And of course, if this being 9 volumes, I still have 6 volumes to kind of connect a little more with the characters, and hopefully that will happen. But yes, overall, of the Red, the Light, and the Ayakashi, if you're interested in kind of spirit sort of series as well as having a mystery, then I would recommend this to you, especially if you're a fan of something like Higurashi and the mystery aspects of that. Don't go into this thinking it's going to be another like Mushishi or Natsume's Book of Friends, because it's really not. So yes, that's my kind of overall opinion of this series. It's alright, but not phenomenal, and it's okay for what it is. But anyway, coming off of that, and continuing on with Higurashi, I got quite a bit of the Higurashi When They Cry manga. I bought a big lot of it, so this is a lot of volumes I don't have. Some I'm still missing, but I'll just go over them by arcs. So I have volumes 1, 3, and 4 of the eye-opening arc. So this is the first of the answer arcs. I'm still missing volume 2 of this, and these are volumes 11 and 13 and 14. And then I also have volumes 1, 2, and 3, I believe, out of 4 of the Atonement arc. So volume 1, volume 2, and volume 3 of the Atonement arc. Like I said, these are volumes 15, 16, and 17. So a direct continuation from those last volumes I just showed. Then I have volume 2 of the Massacre arc, which is a larger omnibus. This is volume 20 overall. Then I have volume 22, which is volume 1 of, I have volume 22 and 24, which are volumes 1 and 3 of the Festival Accompanying arc. So that's volume 22 and volume 24. So I am still missing a few things. Volume 12, volume 18, 19, and then 21, 23, and I think there's a couple volumes after 24. I'm not entirely sure how many volumes this series is overall. I think something close to like 26 or 27, but I may be completely wrong about that. It may be only 25. But yes, I've already owned the first 10 volumes of the Higurashi When They Cry manga, which are all of the question arcs. And then with this lot, I've gotten majority of the answer arcs. I do know the end of the story. I did own the Australian release of the anime for many, many years, both seasons, so I know how it ends, but I always find it interesting to see how different artists and writers adapt things, and with the Higurashi and When They Cry manga adaptations, they do get different writers, story adapters, as well as artists each arc, so I'm always interested to see how that goes. Next is a very, very, very old volume, which is another one I showed off in my midweek manga video last week, I believe. And that is Forged Shoujo Stories, a compilation of 4 various shoujo stories from 3 different mangaka: Promise and Since You've Been Gone by Keiko Nishi, They Were 11 by Moto Hagio, and The Changeling by Shio Sato. Like I said with this, or in my midweek manga video, this is a great volume. It's very hard to come by nowadays because it wasn't exactly approved by Japan to be released, so they were never able to release it beyond their first print run. And as you can tell, it is a very old volume. It's flipped, so read in the Western left to right rather than right to left, like majority of manga. But the collection of stories in this volume are really great. Some very, very mature themes about relationships, as well as some very kind of full-on sci-fi series or short stories in here. If you're a fan of any of these authors, I would definitely recommend trying to hunt down this volume. I know some pop up on secondhand websites a lot, and places like eBay. That's where I got this copy, but it is kind of a little more pricey. I got this for a very, very, very good deal, but most volumes are quite overpriced. So I wouldn't say buy it at the huge premium that it's currently at on Amazon and those sorts of things. But if you're interested, or you know that you'll enjoy it, and you find it for, you know, $20-$30, it's definitely worth the pickup. And yeah, I really enjoy it, and I'm sure a lot of other people would also if you gave it a try. Finally, for the manga, is my only BL title, and that is Does the Flower Blossom Volume 3 by June. Well, written by Shoko Hidaka, but published by June, Digital Manga Publishing's BL line. Like I said, with this volume is pretty standard, just development of the relationship stuff. And we do actually finally have some understanding between the two main characters about like them being interested in each other. This one is a very slow burn, or has been up until now. And very tame. It's only 16 plus, but even so, it really doesn't warrant that. It's really, really like G-rated at the moment. Of course, I'm not sure how that develops within the next couple volumes, but as for this one, it's fairly simple and standard, and yeah, I'm looking forward to reading the rest of it. It is a little bit longer than I think most BL title or series, especially considering most are just 1 or 2 volumes long. But the author has really like elongate or like lengthened her series to fit those 5 volumes. Like I said, it is very much a slow burn, especially at the moment, but we'll see how with certain developments in this volume, see how the series kind of changes in the next couple volumes. And then finally, I have a light novel, which is another new release, and that is Yen On's release of the 4th Durarara novel. Yeah, so I really, really enjoy just both Durarara and Bakuno. Ryogo Narita is very good at what he does. He makes a lot of very interesting characters, as well as a lot of interesting settings. I am more so a fan of Bakuno than Durarara, but I do enjoy how Durarara has developed, and the sort of ways the characters interact as the series goes on. And I'm really looking forward to reading this most recent volume. I would definitely recommend this if you're a fan of the television show or Narita's work in general. His writing style is quite funny. There's a lot of humor to it. Bakuno as well as Durarara. And Yen On has done a pretty good translation of this, keeping the humor but also keeping the mystery and sort of stylistic interest that is so prevalent throughout both of these works. And like with all novels, I mean, it's an actual novel. We do have a few pieces of art within the series. Oh, that is not what I wanted. And as you can probably tell, there is a lot of Celti, a lot of the other characters as well. And like I said, looking forward to reading this one. But that's it for all of my manga this month. There is a lot. This video got a little bit longer than I wanted to, but hopefully that was all interesting to you guys. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you in the next video, and bye till then.